Welcome back, sweet friends! We continue our coverage of the new gameplay footage with this video. Here I'll cover the karma system, including some of the meaning behind it, and also some of the ways to level up or level down your karma. We'll also, of course, cover some of the whimsical aspects of this game. Also remember to check out the other videos in this series if you haven't already, and add your respective feedback in the comments section, because as always, the inZOI development team is very keen to hear it, and they've already implemented changes, or have told us of upcoming changes based on our feedback. With that aside, let's get into it. Let's first cover the karma system. And actually, before we get into it, let me set the stage with this. We know the director of inZOI is very much into stoicism. He has it sprinkled throughout this game. And if you don't know what stoicism is, it's essentially a way of life. I won't claim to know the exact origins, but I've always attributed it to the ancient Greeks. It teaches you to be wise and, above all, virtuous. And through a life of practiced stoicism, you should be able to live an ideal life. You don't focus on the things that are out of your control or let them affect you. It's easier to navigate life when you learn how to not let it affect your mental state. That's part of stoicism. With that in mind, inZOI's karma system is all about helping your Zois travel a virtuous path that will ultimately lead them to a happy life. You can perform good deeds, or you can perform not so great ones. And we'll get into the consequences in just a minute. When you click on your Zoi's person, you get these available actions. The first three on here I would say are deemed negative karma. Throwing trash or littering, sending prank texts, and yes, farting secretly. I guess if you're in a crowd and do this, that would be not so nice for those around you. The next four options would be good karma. I'm thinking the bubbly options are the same. Not sure if that was merely a translation issue. But that's not all, there's more. I want to say as you increase your karma level, as you see this Zoi has a slightly good karma level, more actions become available. Like here, she can perform volunteer work or sign online petitions for good causes. And the volunteer work will actually be added to your schedule, like here at the Bliss Bay Panacea Hospital. And feel free to correct me if I'm completely butchering the pronunciation. This Zoi here is just coming from his volunteer work with children at this Hope Share Foundation. Of course, note, this is just a rabbit hole. I'm hoping, and I'd like to say I'm fairly confident, that at some point in the future we will have an active hospital. And why do I say this? Well, for starters, we have things like colds, and who knows what other contagious illnesses might be added later to the game, where it would make sense you would have to go to a hospital to get treated. Also, we've already been told by the director of the game, K-Jun, that we're getting a veterinarian career path, so why wouldn't we at some point get a doctor career path? Doctors are one of those prestigious and very revered professions I think would align perfectly with the underlying follow the path of good to a healthy life that is within this game. So, I'm waffling on a bit, but anyways, I'd like to speculate that at some point in the future we can volunteer at an active hospital. Maybe other types of volunteer work like this one with children would remain rabbit holes though, and I'm okay with that. It still adds to your Zoi's storyline and your gameplay. And here was a hilariously negative karma action. This Zoi autonomously stole from this tip jar at a closed food booth. This playtester was pretty shocked and even clicked on the jar to verify what he saw. And yeah, that action is available. Deeds like this would definitely lower your karma level. So now let's take a look at the karma report. This is within the city controls. You can access this report. There's this sole dashboard which gives you a comprehensive status on the entire city's karma. As you can see here, this city is normal, meaning the Zoi's karma level is neither exceptionally good or bad, just in the middle right now. At the bottom you can see in a bar layout the ratio of Zois that are alive to that of souls, or essentially ghosts. They are referring to them in this game as souls. I rather like that better than saying ghosts actually. Everything that is alive has a soul. And again, if you haven't seen my other video where I covered ghosts, or souls, I'll link it here in the top right corner, and I'll also include the whole list in the description box. But essentially, when your ZOI passes away, they go to the AR library where their past deeds or karma status gets reviewed and it's decided if they have enough good deeds to move on. If they don't, they remain as souls, unable to move on. And there's a limit to how many souls you can have roaming around. When you hit that limit, you cannot create any more ZOIs for that city, nor can any new births occur. You will have to help your roaming souls complete good deeds in order to increase their karma status so they can move on. Now, this isn't in the game yet, it's actually still in development, but I can't wait to see how this turns out. Now, clicking on karma status here will give you the status on each individual ZOI within the city. And if their karma gets so bad, again choosing negative interactions will lower your karma status, you, as an employee at AR company, can actually intervene. You can see here it's not at that state yet, so there is no need to intervene. That option is grayed out. So this is just another fun and whimsical aspect of this game. And speaking of whimsy, what greater whimsy is there than the actual underlying foundation for the game, which is the fact that you work as a demigod at an augmented reality company that creates and guides ZOIs. Also that your direct supervisor happens to be a kitty cat, that there are multiple kitty cats at this company supervising other demigods. Besides that, of course, you'll come across things that will remind you that your ZOIs are indeed in a simulation, like this for example. So for me, whimsy adds that fantastical element, playfulness, humor, a little bit of silly and fun. In city edit mode, you can add decorations to your city and make it look as silly as you'd like. Another whimsical aspect is getting to add animals, not just everyday house pets like cats and dogs, but deer, foxes, pandas, raccoons, squirrels, and crocodiles. You can select up to 3 different animals at a time to appear randomly throughout your city. Like right here, you see a doggo basking in the sun. But crikey, here's a crocodile, also basking in the sun. I gotta say, I live in Florida and yes, we have a lot of gators. Seeing this ZOI come right up to this croc is just so jarring. You can't, of course, interact with these animals yet. I think you could only give snacks or startle, or some negative karma actually, the cats, but I'm hoping we can give snacks to the other animals as well. Not sure about the crocs though. Throwing some raw chicken in front of them. Yeah, that'd be something to see. Going back to the city edit, you can add these beautiful special effects as well. They seem to all be light shows that you'll see randomly at night. I couldn't find much footage of this, and the tree is blocking most of the show here, but he does zoom in eventually. Voila! It's so pretty. I really love these light shows and I hope they add more like this. Again, back to city edit mode, we've got this option to change the city cleanliness or sanitation level. The lower you place it, the more run down and Silent Hill-like it will appear. An absolute wasteland. But did you know, because I certainly didn't until recently, that the cleanliness of the city also affects the look of the food you cook in the game? This player actually made his ZOI throw out some food he made just because it looked burnt, but then the second dish also looked burnt. He wondered if it was tied to the environmental level of the city, so he went back out to city edit mode and changed it all the way back to clean, and then lo and behold, the food actually looks perfectly delicious again. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, let's one more time go back to city edit mode. Here under city controls, we can change the occurrence rate of dreams. Not only will you have good dreams, but you can also have some nightmares. And we've seen that dreams can actually affect our ZOIs the following day. This ZOI had a bad dream the night before, and the feeling of devastation is going to last him more than half the day. And we've also got random sleepwalking. Your ZOI will randomly get out of bed and start walking about in a half daze. During this effect, you cannot control the ZOIs or stop them. They may actually perform some activities autonomously. Here this ZOI got out of bed and went to use the bathroom. That was it. You'll see they are completely asleep. There's also this funny dreamy wavy effect around them while they're doing this. And then she just simply went back to bed after that. Of course there's whimsy in the fact we have this fortune telling place. I thought we'd have an actual fortune teller there to talk to, but she doesn't really attend to us. We sit and read the tarot cards ourselves. Maybe more will be added to this in the future though. There's some hilarious moments of whimsy via interactions like this jealous ZOI burning his wife's clothes in front of her face. I love these extreme moments. I mean, you really shouldn't have cheated on him, eh? I also love these Looney Tune fighting scenes between this adult and a child. I definitely want to see more silliness like this. And talking about silly, these two ZOIs were randomly arguing with each other. When the dance together interaction was chosen, everyone nearby the ZOI just immediately started dancing in the most fanciful, goofy way imaginable. This cracked me up so bad. It reminded me of the scene actually from the original Beetlejuice where they all get possessed at the dinner table and they're forced to sing and dance for some reason. I just don't know. It would have been even more funny if they'd gone back to arguing after it, but they actually seemed to be in a better mood. And you know I was gonna include this bit, right? Yeah, no words needed. In this one, you really have to pay attention to the skies. I couldn't find a lot of footage, but you can see it here just briefly. Look at the top right hand corner of your screen to see a beautiful shooting star, or a meteorite really. I just can't wait to get my hands on this game to just take my time and enjoy the beautiful night sky. And of course, what's more whimsical than an entire amusement park? I remember back in, when was it, August, when the director actually mentioned we were getting a park and that the rides would be interactable. Well, they definitely kept to their word. You can absolutely ride in first person all the rides here. That is, of course, if your motion sickness can handle it. I struggle sometimes. You also, of course, have all the interactable games and carnival-like foods to feed your inner child. And talking about inner child, adults can also ride these kiddie rides. Too perfect. We definitely need more activities for the youngsters. And I'll cover activities and hobbies in another video since this one is getting already a bit too long, but at least we have some cute whimsical toys for our tots. So, what do you think so far of the whimsical elements? Do you want more? I mean, I certainly do. I think we definitely have a lot, and even more that I haven't shown here, like the various dialogue options like claiming we live in a simulation, or somebody is controlling the weather. Plus, I'm sure they're going to be adding a lot more as this game continues to progress. And also, quick note, they have addressed occults, which is something we've been desperately asking for. They said it wasn't in the plans at this time, which is a bit of a bummer. However, they didn't say no. So, I'm hanging on to that for now. Well, friend, thank you for watching till the end. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like on the video and share. I appreciate you. Take care, and as always, enjoy!